As of now, the United States has about 374 military bases overseas, covering more than 140 countries and regions around the world. From Europe to Asia, from Africa to Oceania, these military bases cover almost all important strategic locations around the world. Although the United States military base network is so large that it almost controls the entire world, it does not make them feel completely safe. Of course, the United States is not the only country that has established military bases overseas. Countries with strong comprehensive national strength, such as Britain, France, Russia, and China, have also established their own military bases around the world. For example, China has also built a large military base in Djibouti, Africa. However, this base has attracted great attention from senior U.S. officials who have repeatedly expressed their concerns about this base to Congress and repeatedly pressured the local government to try to stop China from continuing to build the base. So why is this military base, 13,000 kilometers away from China, so important to China? Why does it cause concern in the United States? Djibouti is located at the confluence of the Indian Ocean and the Red Sea, and its strategic location is extremely important. It is a key node leading to the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. Whether it is a cargo ship going north through the Suez Canal to Europe or a ship going south to the Indian Ocean, almost all of them need to pass through the Bab el-Mandeb Strait and stop at the port of Djibouti. Therefore, Djibouti is often called the sentinel on the oil channel. Although Djibouti's land area is only about 22,300 square kilometers, it has a long coastline and many high-quality ports. These ports not only have excellent water depth conditions, but also have complete facilities, which can easily meet the docking needs of large warships and merchant ships. In fact, the port transportation industry is vital to Djibouti's economy, accounting for 80% of the country's GDP. So why would Djibouti allow foreign countries to build military bases here? In fact, Djibouti is still one of the least developed countries in the world. Data shows that about 90% of the country's land is desert and volcanic. Except for a small amount of plains along the coast, other areas are extremely difficult to develop and have almost no economic value. Therefore, Djibouti has neither developed industry nor rich mineral resources. In addition, there are many political parties in the country, and the political situation is not particularly stable. Under such circumstances, although Djibouti has only about 1.1 million people, they still find it difficult to achieve food self-sufficiency. Due to extremely limited conditions for the development of other industries, Djibouti has chosen a unique development path, which is to take advantage of its strategic geopolitical position. By providing land, ports, and other facilities to other countries for them to build military bases, this has become one of Djibouti's important sources of income. In this way, Djibouti can collect hundreds of millions of rents every year. So far, Djibouti has attracted as many as 20 countries to build military bases. Of course, as one of the world's largest trading countries, China naturally does not want to miss this opportunity. Since 2015, China and Djibouti have begun planning to build a military base in Djibouti. After 2 years of construction, the base was finally officially completed and put into use on August 1, 2017. From the map, we can see that the entire base covers an area of about 0.5 square kilometers with complete internal facilities, including docks, airports, barracks, and training grounds, which are sufficient to meet the training needs of soldiers and the supply of warships. As the first overseas military support base of the Chinese People's Liberation Army, there were initially about 800 soldiers stationed here. However, with the continuous expansion of the base and changes in mission requirements, the number of Chinese soldiers stationed here is now close to 4,000. In order to give back to the Djibouti government, China has also invested an additional $590 million to expand Djibouti's port facilities. In this way, the expanded port facilities will bring a certain improvement to Djibouti's economy, and the Chinese Navy's supplies will also receive better port services. But in addition to China, many countries in the world have military bases in Djibouti. For Djibouti, which is known as the World Barracks, this situation of coexistence of bases in multiple countries has become the norm. However, it should be noted that there is a U.S. military base only 10 kilometers away from the Chinese base in Djibouti. This close strategic layout naturally aroused great concern and uneasiness from the United States. As we mentioned earlier, Djibouti is known as the sentinel on the oil channel, and the United States naturally hopes that this strategic location can be controlled by itself or its allies. In order to prevent China from building a military base in Djibouti, Some Western media deliberately exaggerate the so-called China threat and regard China's base construction in Djibouti as a target of attack. However, this unfounded concern and pressure not only does not contribute to regional peace and stability, but also deviates from the direction of cooperation and development pursued by the international community. In order to prevent China from building a base in Djibouti, senior U.S. officials have repeatedly put pressure on the Djibouti government, trying to change the Djibouti government's support for China's base construction through diplomatic means and economic assistance. However, the Djibouti government does not agree with the China military base threat theory advocated by some senior U.S. officials. On the contrary, they believe that this Chinese military base is only a positive contribution to maintaining the international maritime security order. So, what is the real purpose of this military base built by China? Did you know that China has been playing an important role in maintaining world peace since the 1990s? As of August 2024, China has sent more than 50,000 peacekeepers to participate in nearly 30 UN peacekeeping operations in more than 20 countries and regions. Among them, anti-piracy missions in the Gulf of Aden and Somali waters. However, in the process of the Chinese Navy carrying out these missions, reliable logistic support facilities have become particularly important. But long-term ocean operations have a very large demand for ship supplies, and Djibouti is more than 13,000 kilometers away from mainland China. Therefore, whether it is the replenishment of fuel, food, or fresh water, it usually takes about 20 days to deliver. For the maintenance and repair of warships, a stable base is needed to provide support. However, since China did not have overseas military bases in the past, the Navy was usually unable to stay for a long time when carrying out peacekeeping missions in the Gulf of Aden and Somali waters. In order to solve this problem, China and the Djibouti government negotiated in a friendly manner and finally decided to establish a support base in Djibouti so that logistical support can be provided for the Chinese army. Up to now, since the Chinese Navy began to perform escort missions in the Gulf of Aden and Somali waters, the support facility has provided key supply support for the Navy. Among them, the Chinese Navy has sent 45 consecutive escort formations, with a total of more than 150 ships performing escort missions in the Gulf of Aden and Somali waters, providing safe escort for more than 1,600 batches and more than 7,200 Chinese and foreign ships. Obviously, the existence of this military base is mainly to maintain regional peace and stability. So strictly speaking, it does not meet the Western definition of a military base involved in combat. Of course, for Djibouti, this military base is different from other bases in that it is open to the outside world regularly and provides vital medical services to local residents. The infrastructure in the base is very complete, with docks, barracks, hospitals, etc. Especially the hospital, this 3-story building can provide patients with a variety of medical services such as emergency, surgery, Chinese medicine, physiotherapy, and rehabilitation. What is more worth mentioning is that the doctors of the base will also conduct joint training with the military doctors and local health workers of the escort formation on a regular basis, which greatly improves the local medical security level. Whether it is the mission of evacuating and protecting overseas Chinese or overseas operations such as emergency rescue, the security facilities of this military base have played an important role, providing the people of Djibouti with a safer venue and more reliable medical services. As early as 2010, the Peace Ark hospital ship of the Chinese Navy went to Djibouti for the first time to carry out the Harmonious Mission 2010 mission, providing high-quality medical services to local people and winning wide acclaim. With the successful completion of this military base, the cooperation between China and Djibouti in many fields such as economy and culture has also been continuously deepened. The Djibouti government has expressed welcome and support for China's establishment of a military base there, believing that this will help further consolidate and strengthen the friendly and cooperative relations between the two countries. But for China, this military base also has extremely important strategic significance. Its role is to greatly enhance the safety of maritime oil transportation in the Gulf of Aden. As we mentioned earlier, Djibouti is called the Sentinel on the oil channel, and this key oil channel is the Gulf of Aden. The Gulf of Aden is located in the northwest of the Indian Ocean and is an important waterway connecting the Red Sea and the Arabian Sea. From the perspective of global trade, the Gulf of Aden is a vital sea channel, and a large amount of trade between Europe and Asia passes through here. Due to its important strategic position, the Gulf of Aden has become a focus area for all countries. In addition to the harassment of pirates in this sea area, countries around the world have also been trying to intervene militarily in this region. For example, the threat of the Houthi armed forces has created a series of chaos here, affecting about 12% of global cargo transportation and 30% of container trade, forcing a large number of merchant ships to detour around the Cape of Good Hope. In the context of an era where oil is an important strategic resource, the Gulf of Aden carries a large amount of China's oil imports. The security issues in this region will have a significant impact on China's industrial production, energy supply, and even the entire national economy. Therefore, China is determined to maintain the security of this sea area, and the existence of this military base, like a solid fortress, provides strong logistical support for the Chinese Navy. It can effectively monitor the dynamics of the surrounding waters, detect and respond to potential threats in a timely manner, and ensure the safe passage of oil transport ships. In my opinion, it is also very necessary for China to build a military support base in Djibouti,